Chapter 7 discusses professional portfolios. We introduced ourselves to professional portfolios last week when you went to the discussion board and put comments where reviews were given on the different portfolio styles. And I must say I was really impressed with what feedback you were giving. You guys were right on with the kinds of things that worked, that didn't work. So now we're going to start moving into how you might choose to integrate things into your professional portfolio. So skills and personal abilities, it's very common, not required, but common to have a section that focuses on specific skills and abilities in addition to what you include on your resume. Here are some potential skills you might want to include. There's problem solving skills, communication skills, resource allocation, technical, teamwork, leadership, and conflict management, self-confidence, initiative, quality, drive, imagination, flexibility, and goal achievement. And I'm not going to read all the details since this is in the book, and you certainly can review this PowerPoint slide as well if you want some more details. We're going to do an exercise later that works with these skills and personal abilities so that you can start to identify ways in which you might actually use these in a practical setting that might prove valuable to an employer. So now the next part deals with what to put in a portfolio, selection and types of samples. Last week we reviewed the samples and a lot of materials that were included. So really you get to choose what you think is going to sell yourself the best based on your own personal preference. Certainly documents and examples that demonstrate specific skills. Be hanging on to assignments that you've done in school, to reports that you've written, work reviews that might be positive, maybe obtaining letters of recommendation. If you were thinking of teaching, if you're thinking of teaching children, then you might make a copy of a lesson plan, or if you're to collect photos of children, then you're required to get a written release before posting it on a portfolio, so you want to be mindful of things like that, but we'll get into that when we get later on into the semester. In addition, you also could consider a resume, a statement of career goals, and we're going to spend a little time with that this week working on kind of a goal statement. With the resume, you want to be careful not to put personal information out there unless you know exactly who has access to that resume. So you might just put, instead of your full name and address, just your name and a link to an email address instead. Work samples, certifications, diplomas, degrees, and awards. I know some of you commented on putting a full transcript out there. It's a personal preference. You just want to make sure any information that someone could try to steal your identity is protected so that you're not putting yourself at risk of something like that. But certainly if you're not comfortable with putting that kind of information out there, then don't do it. It's important to be comfortable with what you use to promote yourself. Sometimes people forget about their volunteer work or community service. That's really valuable stuff. And again, we talked about academic records. As all of these are options. There are no required, this is what you must do, this isn't what you would want to do. Letters of recommendation are always helpful too. Now we're dealing in this course with electronic portfolios, and so we're only going to be reading up to page 95 in the textbook because they start to get into how to prepare a physical portfolio where you actually go to an interview and you have a binder and you can organize your portfolio in different ways. But I don't want to go in detail into that. You can read it in the textbook if you're interested in it, but since we're doing electronic, we're going to deal specifically with the electronic angle. So this week, really, part of what I want to do is make it clear before we begin putting portfolios together to understand what it is we're trying to market. We've been spending time on what we're marketing. What is your portfolio's message? Why are you putting it together? What does it say about you? And what do you want it to say about you? What exactly are you stating or proving with the samples that you have selected? What impressions do you want to make? And this is very, very important. It's going to help build sort of like a, oh, I don't know, kind of an outline of what it is that you can actually put into your resume or into your portfolio. One potential message, if you were interested in computers, if that was your career focus. Okay, my portfolio demonstrates that I can develop and implement networked computer systems that contribute to workplace efficiency. It proves that I am a good business communicator, effective problem solving, and valuable team member. So this particular individual would then start to build the portfolio based on those skills and proficiencies that he or she is interested in highlighting. And next, what we'll do is in the assignment folder of Blackboard, I'm going to have the assignment that connects with this portion of Chapter 7. And planning the portfolios, we're going to work on listing career goals in our portfolio that can help potential employers understand you, understand what you want in a career, and see how you would make a good employee. They're important. The goals are important because not only does it help us understand why we're putting the portfolio together, it shows the employer that you're career and goal oriented and that you want to continue to achieve for yourself. So it's similar in many ways to like what your career objective might be on your resume, but it can get broader. It can be as long or short as you want it to be, and I'll give you some samples. Suggested guidelines for developing 3 to 5 goals. You want to focus on your professional skills, knowledge, and achievements that you want to pursue over the next 2 to 5 years. Ask yourself where you see yourself professionally. Another strategy is to make your goals real specific, much more specific than the career objectives, focusing on specific accomplishments whenever possible. So the goals should be measurable so you can tell when you've accomplished them. So for example, a goal statement could be to hold a team or leadership role in IT projects, to develop project management skills by working with project managers and project personnel, and by successfully using project management software tools, or to mentor new employees or trainees in the IT department. So we're going to be talking about goal statements and trying to focus on why we're putting the portfolio together, what the purpose of the portfolio is, and how to take skill sets, highlight those skill sets, and really just market yourself as efficiently as